Hi everyone, welcome to Draw What I Want, a channel where I learn how to draw and I share my experience with you all. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey. And also, if you are learning to draw as well, then remember, wherever you are in your drawing journey is perfect. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be practicing how to draw advanced level cubes. So this is something that I learned to draw in a previous video. So this was the advanced level cubes, and I was using the book from by Mark Kistler to guide my to guide the process. So today I just want to practice drawing it, just to kind of solidify the knowledge. Okay, so. And again, I'm going to be using my sketchbook. I've got my pencil here, the sharpener, the eraser. Lovely. So it's going to be a nice and simple video just to kind of practice what we've learned. If you want, you can follow along, practice it, or you can just watch it to kind of see what techniques I apply. Whatever you find more enjoyable and comfortable. Okay, lovely. So I will just use this book as a guidance, not to follow a step-by-step process, but just to kind of remind me what the finished picture looked like, just so that I can kind of see. Okay, so let's start. So as I remember, we were starting by drawing a foreshortened square. By the way, I hope everybody is doing well. It's Monday over here today. Obviously Monday, the beginning of new week and everything. Yeah, hope everybody's is having a good beginning of their week. Okay. So what I remember from the first attempt to draw the advanced level cubes was the fact that I drew the top square of the building short, and then the rest of the building was quite wide. So that's what I want to improve for today's picture. I want to try and make it a little bit higher. So in this case, we're gonna just make it a little bit longer, just a little bit. Lovely. And then, so this is a little bit of a confusing thing. And then, so we'll close that off. That should be all right. By the way, guys, when you draw, do you speak with yourself? I kind of speak out loud. I don't know if I would do the same if I wasn't recording a video, but when I'm recording a video, I'm definitely speaking out loud. I just feel like it helps me to guide my process. So, and then that one. And then we'll draw, or maybe it's because I'm kind of sharing my experience with you all. But you know, it's actually quite useful to speak it out loud, because what I'm noticing is, if I'm, for example, noticing that if I'm making some sort of mistakes, if I'm saying it out loud, then I kind of catch myself on that thought. And straight away, I kind of calm myself down. I reassure myself not to take it too seriously, to kind of remind myself to enjoy the process. I think if I was speaking with myself internally, not out loud, maybe I wouldn't pay attention to that kind of thought, and maybe I might become quite critical. So I think for that reason, it's a good thing speaking out loud. Okay, so we've got that, so we'll do that one a little bit longer, and then like that. Alright, so yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then we're drawing the other cube. So this one's longer. So it's turning out to be quite large, but maybe I want to make it a little bit shorter. So maybe that way. And you know, as I don't know, do you guys prefer learning? Do you prefer the practice session, or do you prefer just drawing from your mind, you know? Because I was thinking to myself before, oh, what's the point of doing these practice sessions? Is it because, you know, it might be a little bit boring, like you're not really learning anything, you're not really expressing anything. But then I've kind of thought to myself, and I do see a benefit from it, because as I said at the beginning of the video, it helps me to solidify the knowledge that I've learned, to kind of see where I am, and you realize how much you've learned and where you need to improve yourself, or maybe you need to go back and revisit some points, for example. So there is definitely a benefit from practicing drawing what you've learned. Okay, so because it will make you feel a little bit more confident, I think, and also you're starting to get used. Your hand is starting to get used to drawing a little bit more. You're kind of starting to realize how much of the paper you want to use. How much do you like drawing big objects or small objects? There's definitely new things that are opening up in your mind. I think it kind of develops you as an artist going forward, practicing. So yeah, there's definitely quite a few benefits. Lovely. So we've got that. Okay. So I'll just show you where we are. So we've drawn the top part of the building, and then we've drawn the bottom part of the building. Okay, so now we're going to focus on creating the doors of the building on the top, like creating little corridors. Yeah. So what we need to do is, as I remember, we were drawing 2 lines here. This one needs to be a little bit longer. And we've got to remember that they have to be parallel to these side lines. Okay, and we'll do the same here as well. Okay, and then we need to draw the curve to make it look like a door, to create a door. Like an arch. That's fine, we'll leave it as that. They might not be 100% even, but that's fine. I'm gonna leave it at that, because otherwise I feel like I'm gonna make it worse. Right, and then we're gonna create an illusion that there is an inside internal corridor. And the way the artist, Mark, was explaining it in his book. So we need to draw an edge on the right side on the right door, and then the edge on the left side of the left door. So, and again, we're using this line as a reference to make it parallel. And then we're drawing that. Okay. And then we're doing the same on the left door. So again, we're using this line as a reference and also this line as a reference. Okay. And then we're creating an archway. Probably put it that way even. Just sharpen it a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. I'm happy with that. You know, the one thing what I'm noticing as well, when I'm kind of drawing and I've got my focus so much in it, like proper attention to detail, really, really close up. Sometimes it might not seem that it's creating that 3D illusion or spectacle illusion. And then when I kind of move away, especially when I look in the camera of the phone when I'm recording a video, it does appear more like it should do, basically. So if you have a drawing, and a little thing that I want to mention, that if you have a drawing and it might not appear what you think you're trying to kind of make it look like, then take a step back, maybe take a picture of it and then review it, because I think it basically it makes a huge difference when you're really up close to the picture and then when you walk away. I do apologize, I'm a little bit finding it difficult to find my words today. It's just how it is. Sometimes you feel like talking non-stop, and on other days you feel like you can't even get a word out. So let's have the picture do the talking, right? Okay, so we've got that. Lovely. And then, yeah, see, have you noticed how I've just erased those lines here? This is actually to create that illusion that it is a corridor and this is the floor, basically, and you're walking in it. And then to add to that, we want to create edges inside of the corridor as well, to create a full kind of illusion that there is like walls, or there is an end behind it as well. And the way, so let me just remember how Mark was saying it. I think he was basically saying that, and it still needs to be parallel. Okay, so it just needs to be a little bit higher than this lower line, and and then we're drawing the lines here, and they still need to be parallel to the reference lines. Okay, so a little bit higher, and then we're drawing. So it needs to be parallel to that one, and then also to that one. So there's that one. Okay. I mean, that's the idea. If I just show you what it looks like on the picture here, these are the lines that we were just drawing, and this is what I have. Maybe it will look better once we start doing the shading. Let's have a look. So, okay. So we've got that. I'm just checking all the points. to make sure everything's correct. Okay, so the top bit's done. See, I think his line was a bit closer to here. It's fine. It's fine, it's fine, we're just practicing. So now we're gonna draw this kind of edges on the side. I don't even know what they are, but they're basically edges. And let me just have a think how it was done. So, okay, so we need to draw 2 lines here and then a line here. So, straight line here, straight line here. Then line here. I can't really remember how he was explaining it. So if we'll just do that, do that. So I'm just fitting it. Okay, and then parallel here. Parallel here. And then another parallel line like that. And then if we just do that. So I'm a left-hander, so I either cover the whole picture with my hand and then smudge everything over, or I need to kind of turn the sketchbook around, or maybe I should try and learn to draw with my right hand, eh? What do you think? That would be a good challenge, maybe. Okay, and then that could probably be a little bit longer. Yeah, we'll do that. Lovely. So now we'll just erase these ones here, the lines, and then this one. I think the cube is still, if we just have a look at my previous one. Sorry, I'm gonna have to go through the, yeah, so I think another one. I think the size of the top building and the bottom building, it's a little bit more even. Here it was completely small and the bottom one was really big. Okay, I mean, so that's an improvement. Okay, let's see. So we've done that. We've erased these lines here. So now it's pretty much done. We just need to do the shading really to make it look a little bit more alive and more real. So let's start with these ones. Because we've got the light source on the right side here. So the darker shadings will be away from the light. Yeah, these ones could have been a little bit higher so that the internal window is a little bit bigger, but it's fine. See, because I'm only practicing like the shape of it, I'm not really being too critical about it. I'm like, oh, whatever, it's happened. I wonder if it would be a different situation, for example, if I was drawing a proper picture, you know, like the landscape, the house, and I wanted it to look really, really good. So you can either redraw the painting or the drawing loads of times to make it look perfect, or you can follow the line that I've basically made up, saying that wherever you are in your drawing journey is perfect. So even if something isn't the correct size, that makes it unique. So it's completely up to you, because sometimes if you're overdoing something over and over again, you take away the enjoyment from it. Like when you're trying to make something perfect, but actually doing it, and that can get really exhausting. Like, as I say, you're not enjoying it. You're putting too much pressure on yourself. But actually, if you've done it once and the way it turned out is the way it turned out, it's perfect in that moment. So if you don't feel like redoing, oh, there's a plane. If you don't feel like redoing the same drawing or the painting, that's okay as well. You know what I mean? You're only doing it for yourself in a way. So there is no pressure, because what is perfect? You know what I mean? So, and that's the whole point of fun and creativity and art and expressing yourselves creatively. You just do it as many times as you want. So if doing it once is enough and you're kind of happy with it, and you're kind of saying it's perfect as it is, move on to another thing. So, and that's the way I'm kind of feeling. Sometimes I only want to do it once and then I want to move on to the next thing. Right, okay, so we've done the shading here. And then we'll just do a little bit of dark bits here. It is interesting though that learning to draw does make you learn about yourself a little bit more as well. What you like, what you don't like. Yeah, definitely. There's definitely more to it than just learning how to draw. It's a much more deeper journey. Okay. So, wait, I just want to make sure. So that's interesting, because that line should really be parallel to that one, I feel. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. That's the way it looks. Because that one is parallel, yeah. Something isn't right. Anyway, I'm not gonna... It's because, when you look at the shadings needs to go across that line. But this line needs to be parallel to that one. So something isn't correct there. Because I think it's probably this line. It needs to be here. It needs to be more like here. Okay. It's confusing me. maybe it's this line that's incorrect. I think maybe it's this line that's incorrect. I'm not sure, something is incorrect. Anyway. Yeah, I think it's this one that's not correct. It should have been more like anyway. But that's why it's good practicing. That's why it's good practicing. I mean, I really wanna kind of find out. Let me quickly try it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So what do you think? That's the book's image, and then this is my image. But there is something not right about this one. And then yeah, this one's a little bit higher. But then this one, let me just quickly draw a small one if I can. Maybe just on this side, because I feel like we're practicing for reasons. So we've got 2 dots here, and then we've got this here, and then remember these 2 need to be parallel. So let's have a look. Yeah, see, that's not parallel. Parallel is here. Parallel is here. So I think my dot is lower. Okay, so I think that's what I've been doing. That's where my mistake was at. So this one is here. And then this needs to be parallel as well. Okay. Right, and then so if we'll just do a small one. Now we've got this one's parallel. This one parallel, okay. Okay, and then this one we need to do it a little bit higher. And this one. Okay. Maybe further up a little bit. Okay, and then this one. So this one needs to be, so if this one would have gone like that, for example, yeah, that's not parallel. So we need to find a way to make it parallel, for example, and then I can erase it. So that's okay. So if we'll just erase that. And then this one. So this one. So this one needs to be parallel to that, like for example, think that one's even higher like that. Okay. So I guess, you know, like the architects and everything, this is what they do to draw. This is more like architects, artists, measuring and everything. Oh, accidentally erased that one. Just enough space there. Okay. So that one's quite high. I need to make it lower. Needs to be somewhere here. Yeah, like that. Right, and then I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Yeah, so I'll make a small one. I'm already going over that one, but it's fine. I just wanted to, I don't need to do the rest of it. I just wanted to have a look at the top one to see how this will look. Right. So let's have a look how that was. So we've got that parallel. Parallel. And then, so these ones, let's see. So yeah, see, because this one is parallel to this one. So let's see, how will it work? I guess so. So this one is parallel to this one, and then it's parallel to this one as well. Yeah, it wasn't like, and then, yeah. See, this is how it's supposed to be. That's where the, yeah, you have, basically, if you're learning to draw and you're applying techniques, I think if you're trying to be like precise right at the beginning, you do have to actually make sure that all your lines are extremely correct and parallel right from the beginning to make sure that you're happy with them, because if you don't, then you've kind of drawn the whole object or the whole picture, and then you realize that something is not even, something is out of line, and then, oh, excuse me, and then it's kind of too late. You don't already want to readjust the whole painting, the whole drawing. You don't want to redo it again. So I would definitely suggest, and this is a note to myself as well, that whenever drawing these cubes, advanced level objects, it's really important to pay attention to the to the sizings, to the parallel of each lines, to make sure that they align with each other. So not to do it all over again later on. Okay, and then this one is parallel to that one, this one is parallel to that one. So I guess it's all about precision, right from the start. Right from the start. Make it right from the start, to avoid you redoing it later on. Okay. Lovely. So yeah, I mean, look at the difference. This one, yeah. Anyway, as I say, I'll let the picture speak for itself. Hopefully you're noticing the difference here. It just looks so much cleaner. Yeah, 100%. All right then, guys. So I'm not gonna hold you for any longer. I just really wanted to get it out of my system, just to make sure I see where I'm going wrong. Yeah, so this is another benefit of practicing what you've learned before, just to kind of learn from your mistakes, correct them, and yeah, learn and become better every time. So I really hope, well, again, remember, whenever you finish anything that you draw, sign it. So I'll just put okay. So yeah, guys, I hope that you found this video helpful in any way. Again, remember that wherever you are in your drawing journey is perfect. And yeah, I just really hope that this video helps you in any way. If it does, consider maybe liking the video, subscribing to the channel, you know, kind of follow my journey. Just whatever, let's build a community, maybe share tips, advice. Let me know what you're drawing, what you're practicing. Have you made mistakes before? How did you correct them? Did you just leave them? Or did you actually stop and kind of redo it? And yeah, I think it's an exciting to learn about yourself, learn about what type of artist you're becoming along the way. So yeah, let's have fun. Let's enjoy the process. And once again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.